What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another profile here on UFSU University. My name's Tam, and today I'm going to be doing my second place finishing deck with Scorpion. Let's jump into it. Alright, everybody, so this is Scorpion 1 dot, my second place finishing deck at the Rockford PTC, the largest PTC of the year. Let's just jump into a couple stats. He's a 6-hand side with 28 health. He loses a bunch of vitality and hits really hard. He just gives basic generic stats. And a lot, and he punishes your opponent for blocking depending on whether they want to or not. Incredibly good character, all around. I think he's just great. He does have a bit of an issue with accidentally dying if you don't kill them. So be careful of that. He doesn't actually have 28 vitality. He's got more like 13. So we're gonna go ahead and start with just the actions. I play for Revoke. This card just says no to whatever I need, and it builds really well. We are playing the Coffee Samba version, which you'll see Coffee Samba here later. And so building this on a 0 and then playing a bunch of real safety difficulty numbers is just super, super good. Moving on, the MVP of the day. I grant you death. I never used the Enhance to draw 2, but it's totally viable in the deck. There's 2 targets, so 6 cards that you can do it with. But the R lose 2 vitality, after your opponent plays a responsibility, they lose 4 vitality. This let me beat Lord Raptor. This let me beat Jianhua. It was just a 4 damage attack they couldn't do anything about. There's no blocking, there's no whatevering, and it actually gets me a little closer to my desperation number, so I can hit this attack even bigger. It meant that I just had another burn 2 in my deck, and that burn 2 said burn 4. It's super, super good. I sided it out anytime that I fought anything that wasn't... If I fought a 5 or a 6-hander sometimes, depending on how they worked, I would just side it out. Like I sided out versus Goro and Gil, and I sided out versus Salinka in the finals. Card's good. You should definitely be playing it mainboarded. Last action I have is 1 Deliverance. Sometimes you can't block things, and reducing the damage down to 4 is really good, especially when you have this magic 13 number. So they what they want to do is they want to get you as close to desperation as possible without going over, and then they want to dumpster you for real big damage. And this just says that you squeak into desperation. I'm actually at 11 or 12. It's not quite 13 that I want for desperation, but I mean it's close enough for government work. Or just enhance, remove, draw a card. So it just floats for itself. Super, super, super good card. The only action I'm playing is Fiddlesticks. This card was very good. It probably wasn't needed in the deck, to be honest. But poke them with a Coffee Samba that they couldn't block on turn 1. Build Fiddlesticks after drawing a bunch of cards, and then putting the Fiddlesticks on top, or putting the Coffee Samba on top on their turn, and then draw that Coffee Samba with Fiddlesticks after flipping whatever foundation. I got a ton of flip cards. Was super, super good. In addition to that, you could just place a Momentum on top and then draw it off of Coffee Samba. So, and I've got 8 cards that just draw 1. So this plus all those cards, it was just super good. To the attacks. 4 Coffee Sambas. Shout outs to Keenan Meadows. He is the one that made me run this card. Scott Sunman was running Samba Scorpion. Shane Duckworth showed me this Samba Scorpion list. I wish I had been running this card sooner. I was just afraid of the 1 check mixed with playing From Hell as a 6. I was afraid of these 2 numbers here, but we'll get to that in a bit. This card's insane. If you're playing Scorpion, you have to run this card. If you're playing Evil or Fire, you just have to. The card's just too good not to. We all know what this card does. Moving on, we've got a 4 Takedown. What this card says is it forces them to block. It's really slow, but that's okay because we have +2 speed. And even though it is slow, that's fine. We can just lose 2 life and if they block it. So that you punish them on the block, you punish them if they don't block by picking up an attack. It's also a 1 low block. Crazy good. It's got a good zone mix-up. Sometimes, Takedown finds Takedown and they didn't have a low block, and that Takedown finds a Takedown and they didn't have a low block, and the Takedown finds Takedown. And you just accidentally hit them for, a million. This is 40 damage at Desperation if they just don't have a low block. Next up, we've got Syndicate Slice. Pound for pound, one of the strongest cards in the deck. Desperation 2. That's crazy, the end of strengths. It's a 5 high for 10 in Scorpion, that if they block, they lose 2 and you draw a card, and it ignores progressive for the next card that you play. So your next check gets +1, so basically it just drops out of progressive, but then comes back after you're done. So you can chain Syndicate Slices on a 2, 3, 4, 5. So playing all of these, which is now a 5 high for 10, another 40 damage, just like Takedown, that draws you cards and burns them. Cards, very utility. It also is the easiest poke. You can poke with it because they don't want to block it super early. Burn your 3, 2, and 1 for speed and if blocked, and then it just goes to momentum. It's either extra speed From Hell, or multiples, or stacking on top with Fiddlesticks. Very, very good card. Up next, I've got a 4 Flame Aura. This card's what we call not fair. This card having a 1 high block and the static that if you attempt to block with it reduces speed to 0. The burn is fine, honestly. It's just having that amazing block. And also on all of my kill turns, if you just drop 2 of these down, it just says that they're going to die. Especially if they're a 7-hander, just playing Flame Aura and just slinging just a bunch of Syndicate Slices means that if they block, they're burning for 4 with Scorpion, and this is just for free, right? So if you have any of these symbols here, Death, Evil, Fire, you should be playing at least 2 of this in your sideboard, if not mained, honestly. This card is absolutely nuts. Everybody should be playing this card. Last couple cards. Duo of Minion Grab. Honestly, this is just to turbo into Desperation. This says lose 3, this says lose 3, plus any other lose effects in my staging area. It's just meant to, this is my I'm going to kill you card, which is why it's only a 2 of, it doesn't have a block. And so seeing it in your hand and not playing it just feels bad. It also guarantees 9 damage. So the way that works is if I'm at Desperation, I pay 2 with this, and if they block, they lose 2. I pay 2 with Scorpion. If they block, they lose 2. I give it 6 damage. It's a throw, so it does 9 if they don't block it, because 3 plus 6, and then it does 5, and then burn 2 if they do block it. So it just says that they don't block this card. It's just 9 free damage, and there's nothing they can do about it unless they've got throw hate, in which case it still does 4. My last attack of the deck is From Hell. Desperation 4 charge. This is just a big finisher. I'm going to run this at a 2 of because of the 6 up here. I'm super afraid of the 6. Checking a 1 on a 6 just is a turn ender. No card is worth committing 5 for unless you guarantee you're going to kill them. And at that point, like, you could probably just wait a turn and not commit the 5 and probably not die. The if not blocked only happened a couple times. It is mainly in here, honestly, to fight Goro. I think that matchup is incredibly hard for Scorpion, just because like he accidentally gets dumpstered by missile launchers and such. And my Flame Auras don't catch missile launcher. They only if I'm at Desperation I can change them with a couple other cards. But this card's super good. It's only a 2 of. We might be able to bump it up to 3 of, but man, you just got to be really careful with Coffee Samba. You got to do math, good math. On to the foundations. 4 arranging a deal, and I'm just going to put them out. 4 New Empress of Nether Realms. They do the same card, same thing, flip, draw a card. This happens at Desperation. You pay 3 life to do this, so you can turbo into Desperation if you wanted to. And then at Desperation, look at the top card of their deck. This is really good because you then get to decide whether you want to pay the 1 life for the 2 speed or not. Because you can do the math of what their average block modifier is. Oh, they're going to... they're checking a 5, and they've got a 3 block mod. My speed's 4. Well, that means that they're going to commit X, Y, and Z in order to do so. Well, I'll give it extra speed so they commit more resources or whatnot. You just get a lot of information that they don't have, so you can do extra math. It's super good. You should definitely be playing all 8 of these in any Scorpion deck they can. Moving on, we've got 4 the Azure Nightmare. This is a stun deterrent. And it just makes the burn plan easier. If this card gets stunned, they lose 2 vitality. If it gets discarded, they lose 1, but they can't lose the game because of it. Super good. It's also a 1/6. Very good. That discards a card to ready it, so you can just like keep extending your turn bigger and bigger. It's really helpful whenever you're not in Desperation quite yet. It's a free card that you can commit and then ready back up with one of your bad gray cards that doesn't kill them. Outworld's Heiress. This card's super good. This is my individual foundation hate. This is stun hate, not deterrent like the Azure Nightmare, because it cancels the stun altogether, just reduces the rating. And lastly, it is asset hate. In the finals, I fought against a White House deck, and man, I wish I'd have seen way more of these so I can use my cool revokes and my deliverances and such, but, you know, it goes how it goes. It should be at a 4 of, for sure. A lot of people like to play 3. I think 4 is mandatory just because it just burns you down so quickly. I won a game by bouncing a card to their hand and a Coffee Samba to put exactly the right amount of cards to stun out their entire board. So it is forcing foundations into their hand, good ones like, I don't know, God of Thunder or whatnot, so that my Coffee Sambas can work exceptionally well. And that God of Thunder may be burn for 3, so now this card plus this card is burn 6. With Minion Grab, it is burn 9, and that's like, you know, almost half of my life as it is. So the card's super good. It should be played at a 4 of. My last 4 of is Fallen Angels. This card does nothing except make my build turns a little safer. It makes my building safer, it makes my blocking safer. After you block with it, reveal the top, you can discard it. you play Fatality, or you play, you play Revoke, you play a 1-diff, you play Fallen Angels on the 1, you guarantee pass those 3 cards, and then you get to reveal the top card so that whenever you attempt to play the 2 next, you know if it's going to be a 5 or not. If it is an attack, you can just discard it and then try and check again. You check again, if that makes sense. Yes, card's super good. I undervalued it until I made this version. And even in like non-bad check decks, like if you're missing a low block and spam, this card definitely should be in the deck. It just makes your math a little easier, makes building easier. We're playing 3 of Face of a Monster. We easily could have put this up to a 4 of, but I was seeing it enough in testing in order to make the call to make it 3 of. I'm not disappointed with how that went, but when I fought in finals a deck that just threw a bunch of really fast low attacks, man, making them highs with Flamewar would have been really nice. The Deadlock form never happened, but the Desperation Enhance happened a ton in order to change things mid or high, especially versus a Kin 2 match. And so the card's super good. The Luza Vitality for -1 speed is very good whenever you're about to give +2 to yours. So this says lose 1, this says lose 1, and we're just going to turbo into Desperation a little quicker. Double Undying Rage. So this is a 3/6 unique, but we're playing a 2 of it, Tam. Why? Because it's amazing. Because it just says commit, discard the top card of your deck, or pick the top card of your discard pile up. And 9 times out of 10, we're picking up a Flame Aura. So commit for a free block is so good. It's insane how good this card is. And then the Desperation, discard 1 momentum, gain 2 vitality, playable while committed. That just means that every attack that you hit with, I just get to burn them for 2 again later. It just guarantees extra damage the more that we play it. So playing it at a 2 of is super, super good, especially if you're Scorpion. If you're not playing Scorpion, you could probably drop it down to a 1 of. In fact, I did when I sided into my sideboard character. Double Demanding Submission. We've got, it's a 2/4 R Destroy after your opponent plays a keyword ability. Wow, it gauges a keyword ability, multiple and powerful keyword abilities. This just said that it was a more gauge deterrent and it just hit the burn plan a little better. This plus, double of this plus Scorpion plus like Flame Aura says that like they're not allowed to powerful multiple whatever. Like, I was afraid of Moonset, right? So like Forbidden Moonset, this card just says, hey, you don't get to do that. Am I afraid of a reversal? Hey, you don't get to do that. Am I afraid of you gauging out an extra Tornaloose to flip my stuff? Hey, you don't get to do that. This card is super good, and there's another one in the sideboard. My last one, I'm just going to show all of them. It's Debt to be Paid, Uniting Rebels, and Most Trusted Assassin. I'll move them like this, I guess. This was super, super good the whole weekend. I liked all of these at 2 ofs. Gain 2 life, your next check gets -1 for any card, and your next attack gets -1. The first form I never did because I'm really bad at the game, but it honestly did not cost me anything, really. It's just extra. I did it versus a couple characters, mainly Mark Tyner in the finals playing Selinka 2 dot. But like, I think all of these at 2s are totally fine, especially in a 6x size character. If you want to bump up any of these to like 3s, I would suggest Uniting Rebels. A lot of people don't like Debt to be Paid, but I think it's really good to combo with all 3 of these cards. Like this and this is super good for -2 speed, -1 to the next check. And this is playable while committed. So you like enhance and then commit this. Man, it's some good stuff. It's some good stuff. Last 2 of is Double Orphan Alchemist. Man, do I not want my Coffee Sambas to get fatalityed. And it's a 1/6 with a 2 low block. If you notice, there's a bunch of 6s in here. Flip reveal the top card of my deck. I've got 8 cards that just say flip draw card. So, as well as Coffee Samba, right? And so I'm going to be like, hey, I'll flip this, and if it's a foundation that I want to keep, I'll leave it there to pass my check. If it's an attack, instead of doing math to get rid of it, I'll just, draw a card. It's easy peasy. This plus Fiddlesticks was super, super good as well. Being able to use the second destroy once per turn. I could flip it and then look at the top. If I wanted it, blow up the face down to draw that card. This and Fiddlesticks is a very good 2-card combo. And then lastly, my last of his kind. This card's fine. It's not so crazy good to be a 2 of, like 2 of unique, like the Scorpion card. I can't even think of it. We'll find it. Undying Rage. But it's fine. It's really easy. Like the cool things you can do with this card is it's an extra 2 vitality loss on the attack that you are going to go into Desperation. So let's say that I'm almost at Desperation. I'm 5 off, right? I'll pay 2. I'll pay 1. I'll pay 2. Yes, my attack's going to lose the 4 damage, but Scorpion's going to give it another 6, and the Desperation's going to give it another 2. So it's like I didn't actually lose anything. I think I net lost 1 damage, but when I net loss 1 damage in a character that gives +6, it's gonna be okay. This card loves shrinking anything that wants to go to momentum, honestly, because they don't want to waste the block and burn 2. So like if I wanted things to go to momentum, I would just burn myself and make the attack not matter. It's super, super good. You definitely should be playing it one of and all of these symbols as well. Moving on to the sideboard. So I boarded Vega. So the reason I boarded Vega and not main boarded him is because he only has 19 life. He has a 7 hand size and he makes all your attacks harder while in desperation, which is like what the deck wants to do, is be a desperation. But he's got a hard time killing big guys like Goro and like I fought a Gil round 1. Shout out to Garrett Brett, and I just there was no way I was gonna kill him as Vega, so I had to stay as Scorpion. But he's who I wanted to play this weekend. But I was just too afraid of Alurophobia and missile launchers and the such. So we're going to go ahead and run through our Vega sideboard. Anytime I sided Vega, I actually sided all 8 of my cards. I played 1 from Hell, and I took out a minion grab for it. I didn't need as many attacks because I'm a 7-hander. And from Hell's just does more damage than the minion grabs, because in the minion grabs are a turbo for Scorpion to do an extra 9 damage, and then from Hell is a 3 diff. In Vega, that I can play at the end of the chain, and it does way more than the 9 damage that the minion grab does. Double Fade. After they successfully play a card, I can put it back in their hand. So after a Vega commits and hacks their check by 1, or reduces the check by 1, Vega will ready, since they committed so many cards, and I'll play Fade, and they have to attempt to play that card again, which if they wanted that bad, I'll hack it again. Super crazy good in Desperation, because it's a Desperation 0 card. It can be picked up with Undying Rage, and Vega saying that their checks get harder, and the difficulties get higher. Like it's so, this card is amazing in Vega. 2 more Deliverance, because I am at 19 life, and so one of my favorite things to do is to not attack. Same thing with Scorpion, is to put them down to put me to like 11 life, and then try and do 11 damage. But instead, you did only 4. And so now I'm right in my game plan. I'm exactly where I want to be. And so like this card's super, super good. Or you do 6, and then you try to hit me for the rest of the 13. I'm like, nah, I don't think so. Card's crazy good. Cormorant. Breaker is crazy in Vega, because we already want the difficulty to be high, so let's just make it higher. And this is an extra card in my hand if I can build it in my staging area, because I get to draw and then block with it from my hand. I think this card is a little slept on. I think the only list that has ran it in the past recently has been Shane Duckworth's Jet deck, because it can give Breaker 4. That's neat, but Vega also does that with +1 difficulty, +2 difficulty, and -1 to your check. So this is Breaker 4 in Vega, not including any of the other like pay 1s or flips for -2 to their checks. And then my last one is I wanted another demanding submission. I'm afraid of Gauge. Gauge is a new mechanic that people are trying to run into. Being able to tell Dejanet that she can't play her game, or being able to tell Tornalus that he can't play his game, or being afraid of reversal characters on the kill turn. This is super, super good. Destroying the Foundation in order to burn them some extra, super, super worth it. Alright everybody, so that was my deck profile. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions about the choices that I made when I was running Scorpion, please leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel itself. There's going to be a bunch of these coming out from the Rockford PTC, as well as profiles happening weekly. And catch our streams on Facebook in order to see Scorpion 2 in action. So with that, stay learned.